And it's time now for another visit to Garish Summit and its endless story of intrigue among the socially prominent. There in stately splendor, far removed from the squalid village below, they fight their petty battles over power and money. As our action begins, unlikable young Rodney Murchfield is still carrying out his arrangement to be held captive by Lefty Schellenbach, the town's leading kidnapper. Suddenly, Lefty spins around in the swivel chair he bought at a swap meet near the state capitol and speaks.
I guess it's time I sent a ransom note to your mother telling you where to leave the money, Rodney. Would you hand me the scissors so I can clip the message out of these newspaper headlines?
I'd be delighted to help, Lefty, but I can't reach the scissors. You have my arms tied to this chair with clothesline rope.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that we've tried to make this look like a real kidnapping and not just a fake one that you dreamed up to chisel your old lady out of $9,800,000.
Well, I prefer not to think of it as low and conniving, Lefty. Besides, she seems to be falling for the trick anyway.
I hope so. But you know what, Rodney? It's really hard to make up an attractive kidnap note, the kind of headline type they use in newspapers these days.
I wasn't aware there'd been a change.
Oh, yeah, I remember back in '56 when I put the snatch on the Mumford twins. You could still find a lot of 24-point Bodoni type in the papers then. I pasted up a real attractive threat for the Mumfords, telling how I'd mail their kids home in a jar if they didn't pay up.
Yes, I recall when that note was introduced as evidence at your trial. The district attorney commented about the attractive typeface.
Exactly. But now everything's this harsh, modern junk. No nice curlicues on the letters. Now, a woman of your mother's breeding is going to be pretty upset to get a note in ugly type like this.
Well, she'll be upset to get it, all right. I can picture her reaction to it now.
Well, as you might have guessed, Wilfred, my reaction to this ransom note is very negative.
Well, naturally, Miss Agatha, there's something about a sans serif type face that seems so cold and impersonal.
Well, that's not what upsets me, you ninny. The kidnapper is demanding almost $10 million to release Rodney unharmed.
Yes, Mum. I suppose that would be a negative factor, too. And then, making matters worse, the blackguard tied the note around a rock and tossed it through the music room window.
Well, I guess the person who's already facing the gas chamber for kidnapping figures he might as well commit petty vandalism, too.
Yes, true, Mom. Yeah. You're a keen judge of human nature. Perhaps it's your sensitivity that gives me courage to speak out on a matter that's come to my attention.
Of course. You know, I've always been concerned about your feelings, so if you have something to say, just spit it out before I send you on your way without so much as a letter of reference.
Yes, Mom. Thank you, Mom. It's about the ransom figure, $9,800,000. That's the exact amount your auditor found overdrawn from Mr. Rodney's petty cash account at the office. I wonder what the police would say if they knew that the ransom money would be just enough to get Mr. Rodney out of his tight situation.
So, why were you wondering what I'd say, Sergeant? I've been working on the Murchfield kidnapping case ever since it broke, and the figure $9,800,000 doesn't ring a bell with me.
Well, it's the amount of ransom they've asked for, Chief. By coincidence, it's also the exact amount that Rodney seems to have embezzled from Murchfield Lead Mining.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Outside of those things, it doesn't ring a bell with me. Does it ring a bell with you?
Maybe. Now, suppose Rodney knew the auditors were about to find that shortage, so he made an appointment, as we already know, to have lunch with Lefty Schellenbach on the very day he disappeared.
Funny, the name Schellenbach doesn't ring a bell either.
He kidnapped the Mumford twins 30 years ago. You solved the case.
Good. At least that's one loose end we've wrapped up.
Well, not entirely, Chief. Schellenbach's been out of the slammer for a month now, and for no good reason, he has lunch with Rodney Murchfield, who was then kidnapped and held for the exact amount of ransom he needs to avoid an embezzlement rap. You see what I'm driving at?
No, but if you get any leads, call me at the gas station. Rodney bought a new oil filter there on the day he disappeared, and I intend to find out the reason why.
Now, will the young squirt at the gas station knuckle under and tell all he knows? How did Lefty send a ransom note to Agatha clipped out of newspaper type when he couldn't reach the scissors? And why hasn't the broken glass in the music room ever been swept up? Perhaps we'll learn more next time when we hear Lefty say,
Do you spell decapitated with 1K or 2?
That's next time when we return again to Garish Summit.